Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite discoveries of 2020 and one bitter disappointment. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about what I discovered, what I was really excited to experience, and what disappointed me greatly, then keep watching. A few things: cat cup because I'm coughing, so if you see me take a swig or if there's any weird jumps, it's because I'm coughing. For some reason, my crown still is very sore and I just have not been sleeping well because of it, and I think I slept with my mouth open all night, which is really attractive. So, water, cat cup. Also, this is going to be more of a chatty video. This is not a top 10 list. This isn't my recommendations for you guys to purchase. I will be doing that video in like a week or two, but I wanted to just sit down and talk to you guys about the fragrances that really excited me and blew my expectations away when it came down to just discovering new things. So yeah, so some of these fragrances were sent to me, some of these were purchased. My bitter disappointment that I got was a purchase, and if you guys have been following my videos for the past few months, you might know what fragrance it is. So first things first, this is gonna be a chatty video. I'm gonna explain why each of these really just kind of blew me away. Some of you guys might be like, why that one? But really just, these are just great scents. The first one I think is one that's pretty much like, if I think about a fragrance that I had very high expectations for, I bought blind, I paid a lot of money for, and I was greatly just impressed with the quality of the presentation, how it smelled, its concept, is the Harmonist Moon Glory. Now I haven't tried the new one actually. I am a little tight on cash, family things, health things, so I haven't gotten my pocketbook out to purchase this yet, to purchase that yet. I'm hopefully going to do that probably within the next few weeks. But this is one just that I was really excited for. I like the idea of an exotic, beautiful, luxurious white floral scent, especially one that's supposed to be like tropical and moonlit, and it just is spectacular. Now, if you guys are familiar with me, some of you may be, some of you may not be. If not, hi. I have a lot of real loves with fragrance. I love fragrance first and foremost. Even if it's something that's not particularly my taste, I can usually find redeeming qualities about it. It's something that people like about my channel and something people don't like about my channel. But for me, my true loves, if you watch it, is rose. I love rose. I love woody aromatic fragrances. I love tea fragrances, and I really love a fantastic white floral. Now, white floral doesn't have to be like the one specific way. I really love seeing how different compositions, different noses, different houses explore the beauty of white florals. And one of the ways that I really like is these kind of borderlining on tropical white florals, really taking like this exotic, luxurious experience and creating this beautiful transportive experience. And there's a few people that do it really, really well. Kristin West from Matriarch is some of my favorites. I love what Francis Kurkdjian does with white florals, specifically with musks. And I'm also a huge fan of the Harmonist. Now the Harmonist, I haven't tried too many of their white florals. I really have only tried Moon Glory, but Moon Glory cemented them in my mind as just a brilliant way to kind of take this idea of these flowers and this moonlit experience in Hawaii and just translating it into a wearable, gorgeous piece of olfactive art. And it's just something I've just endlessly enjoyed wearing, crave wearing sometimes, and really just love it. Now the Harmonist recently has started reaching out to other fragrance influencers. They've never reached out to me, but I actually like that they're starting to reach out to the community and kind of sharing the wealth with some well-known reviewers. I think that that's really awesome, because this is a house, when I first discovered them a few years ago, I felt like they deserved more attention, but I felt like they weren't putting themselves out there to be kind of discovered and to be appreciated. And sometimes some people have to have a little bit more of a marketing budget. So I've been really excited seeing them reach out to other influencers and people starting to discover and explore this house, because I do like their point of view when it comes down to creating interesting, beautiful, unique concepts and translating it into olfactive experiences. I never have a problem if brands don't reach out to me. I am more than capable of buying fragrances myself. Brands want to reach out to me, awesome. If they don't, that's fine. I've always purchased every fragrance from the Harmonist, and hopefully very soon in the next few weeks, I'm gonna purchase a few more. They're great, I enjoy them. But Moon Glory, in and of itself, is the first fragrance from the house that I saw them kind of really marketing out there. And I was really excited to see that too, because aside from like Sacred Water and Hypnotizing Fire, this is one of the fragrances that I think had a real kind of like composition, had an inspiration, and they translated it perfectly and beautifully to fragrance. And I was excited to see that this was kind of the scent where they started to take their marketing and branding a little bit more seriously and reaching out, and people have been trying it and really loving it. So I find that to be really, really awesome and really proud of them for doing that. But overall, Moon Glory has been one of my favorite discoveries of 2020, and one that I've really enjoyed. Speaking of Kristin Michelle and House of Matriarch, I don't know why I couldn't say that word, I think it's my throat. I've already talked about this fragrance in depth in other videos. I was gonna buy it this month, decided to get the advent calendar. So happy I did. But if you guys love vanilla, Vanilla Caviar just blew me away. I really like Beauty Wood, that was another one I purchased blind and really enjoyed, but Vanilla Caviar just hands down, probably close to my favorite vanilla at this point. Just, it's amazing. So I'm just kind of throwing this one in here because, again, to mention House of Matriarch, but love Vanilla Caviar. I wanted to have a cheapie as a part of this list because I know most of these fragrances are luxury and expensive, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with luxury fragrances, but I also don't think there's anything wrong with people saying that is way out of my budget. When I think about an affordable fragrance, so under, I'd say $75 full retail price, that doesn't mean that you can't find tremendous deals on this scent or these fragrances. I like to think that it's something that smells expensive, something that smells quality, has good lasting power, and just overall the experience from start to finish just feels like it's better than the high price point or the lower price point you would spend. And for me, personally, I've fallen in love with the Banana Republic fragrances. Now, all of those fragrances, minus Black Walnut, which I haven't talked about too much, were sent to me, and I probably would have not tried them if I hadn't been sent them. And I think any one of those fragrances in and of itself is a great discovery. Some of them don't perform as well as others, but the one that's a standout for me that just performs beautifully, presentation is really nice, smells amazing, is Dark Cherry and Amber. Now this one specifically, a lot of people say it's a dupe for Baccarat Rouge 540, it's a dupe for Tom Ford Lost Cherry. If you're familiar with my channel, I'm quite enraptured with both of those. And I find that this fragrance smells like it's I can understand why people would think that way. But the reason why I find this to be a good discovery, beautiful fragrance, first and foremost, I like the way it smells, but because it smells very similar to two very high-end, beloved, hyped fragrances in a way that it doesn't smell like a cheap knockoff dupe version, I think that that adds a lot of credibility to this house and to this composition. Also, it just smells so sexy on the skin. And I think part of the reason why I really just love this and this became like a discovery that I tried and I was really enraptured with is because that composition, the kind of like rich sweetness, that deep, dark berry sweetness I really like seeing in a way that is less like jammy and more kind of like molten. And I talk about it sometimes too when I talk about, you know, when you add like sweeteners, or not sweeteners, but specific fruits and berries to specific compositions, you get like a jammy rose, or you might get like a fruit salad. And as much as those fragrances are really great and complimentary and I really love them, I like this molten kind of sugar kind of experience, kind of like you're in the middle of making a dessert. Like you watch those like shows and they kind of create I like watching like cooking shows, like chefs who are creating like 2 or 3 Michelin star desserts, and you're like watching them decorate these cakes and make these pastries, and it's just like, oh my goodness, it's like magic. And like that kind of like molten candy, like jam that's like in a pot, like being cooked down, and the sugars are coming out, and you just smell what that smells like. I really like that smell, and I love that experience. And for me, being able to create that in a way smells expensive. It doesn't have to smell super expensive, but it smells expensive, and it's a great way to smell. It's a sexy way to smell. Not everyone likes it. I'm a huge fan of it. And I was really impressed with Banana Republic's ability to create a scent that kind of mimics that feeling for me, and that way that those smells take, or those cherries and those berries that they take on in a way that is really successful and really beautiful. And I think there's like a resinous quality, there's a deep quality, there's a sexy quality to this that I find is really beautiful and very attractive. But at the same time, like full retail price, this is I think $65, $68. Like, it's not that much considering the price that I would group this in, such as fragrances that are $250, $350, $450. And I think that you can find fantastic deals on this, and people have found this for like $12. I just think that this scent is something that I've been wearing, I've been loving. It's a new discovery for me, and just kind of rediscovering Banana Republic fragrances has also been really exciting this year too. So this definitely won, but I think all of the Banana Republic fragrances, specifically from the Icon collection, have been ones that I've just been really enraptured with. This next one is a very expensive fragrance, and I really enjoy it, and it is Rose Muscat from Royal Crown. Where is the front? There we go. You can barely tell, but I just wanted to make sure it was front facing. So this fragrance was sent to me to review, and I'm just blown away by it. So I love rose, mentioned that earlier, love rose. It's one of my major loves when it comes to fragrance. And I love unique roses. So I like a true rose scent. I like musky rose fragrances. I like jammy rose fragrances. I like rose and patchouli. I like rose and oud. I like garden rose, tea roses, big, beautiful, like damask rose, or the really gorgeous kind of ethereal, watery Middle Eastern rose. Like, I really love rose. Something I don't see too often done correctly is an animalic rose. And oh my goodness, this one is amazing. So this full retail price, you're looking at spending close to $500 on this bad boy. It is expensive. And I think, I could be wrong, I think this was the most expensive bottle ever sent to me to review. So I am very grateful for this. But let me just say something, that if I had smelled this, I would have bought this immediately. So I wanted to try this house because I've heard a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype around this house, mostly because of the price point, but I was impressed. I was impressed by the rose. So it's not the most groundbreaking rose. Let me just put that out there. But what I like about it is the fact that it's not animalic in a way that smells fecal. It's not animalic in a way that smells like ammonia. It's just got this beautiful muskiness that doesn't make it smell dated in the background. And it's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous scent. The juice in and of itself is beautiful. This is gorgeous presentation, gorgeous presentation. This bottle is heavy. I feel like it weighs like 10 pounds. It is such a heavy bottle. If you've ever held one of these bottles, you know what I'm talking about. So presentation wise, I think for the price point, I'm not disappointed. And for the way that the fragrance performs, its beauty, how it smells, I was blown away. Would I pay full price for this? Yes, I've actually been looking at other fragrances from this house and maybe blind buying a few of them, which is saying something because they're very pricey. But I think that Rose Muscat in and of itself surprised me, because I was expecting a beautiful rose fragrance, like expecting for the price, like it better be a beautiful rose fragrance, but it has a uniqueness to it that I think elevates it and makes it a little bit different, a little bit more special. And I've talked about that too sometimes when it comes down to expensive fragrances, and I talked about it in my rose video. Like, I review and compare a lot of roses to Rose Essential from Bulgari, and that is one of my favorite fragrances ever. And when I look at that fragrance and I say, this is one of my favorite rose fragrances, this fragrance has meaning to me, it has presence, it's beautiful, and you can get it for, or you could have when it was available at this much full retail price. If a fragrance that is rose is going to cost more than that or considerably more than that, how does it compare to this fragrance, which in my opinion is one of the best roses? Not everyone thinks that, that's totally fine, but that's how I judge it. And so when I look at fragrances like Rose Prick, which, do not get me wrong, is a beautiful, well-crafted, gorgeous rose scent, I wanted more turmeric in that. I wanted it to be more special for the price point, especially considering the boundaries that Tom Ford pushes when it comes down to his fragrances. And I felt that it was lacking in those boundary pushings. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to smell weird. It doesn't mean I want it to smell bad or bizarre. But there could have been more risks or more edits done to make it more unique and special. And what I find with Rose Muscade is that little tiny bit of that animalic presence that it has makes the rose more watery, a little bit more aquatic, but at the same time, it doesn't interrupt the integrity of this gorgeous rose scent. And I just love smelling that balance, that uniqueness, and I just think it's fantastic. So this has definitely been one of my favorite fragrances of 2020, and it's just great. I really enjoy it. Next up, and this one might not be a surprise to you, or you might be surprised, this is a recent addition to my collection. And it's from Quinta Canto, and it's, I always say it wrong, Mirabelle. Mirabelle? I can never say it right. You guys know my pronunciation is not good. Not good. This one really surprised me. First, I have a review of it up. I talk about it a lot recently, and it's because it is a beautiful boozy vanilla, but it is done in such a unique and artisanal way, and I just love seeing that. So normally when you think of a boozy vanilla fragrance, you think of something warm, something resinous. You might see different woods in there. You might see amber or benzoin or just frankincense or just something in there to warm it up, spice it up. And do not get me wrong, I love those scents. Love a good vanilla amber combo. It's fantastic. Get some rum in there and I'm good to go. But what I love about this fragrance is that it's cold, but it's not cold in a bad way. It kind of is transportive, and I talk about this to like this enchanted forest, like in the middle of winter. And it just smells so kind of mentholy and mintily and aromatic, and this mint and this like beautiful vanilla and this booziness, and it kind of is like a sugar cube that you're like biting into that's really cold, and it's just really fantastic. And CK, the other fragrance I got at the same time, gorgeous scent, absolutely enraptured by it. But the beauty of this one and its uniqueness, because I don't see a lot of cold vanilla fragrances out there. I see a lot of warm vanilla fragrances out there, just really blew me away. It's a very refreshing, uplifting fragrance, and it has a lot of little nuances that I find to be just really perfect for winter, but you would think it would be more of a summer or springtime scent. And it's just been something I have been terribly impressed with and just loving. Like, again, another fragrance I have been craving. It just smells so good. It just smells amazing. So this is one that I definitely love, and I am so glad I got it. The reason why this scent is a part of these discovery lists is this has been one of the fragrances that when I purchased it and I wear it, I constantly sniff myself, you know? I don't really crave wearing this fragrance, although I do find it to be a beautiful scent. I think this is going back again to my love of white florals, but this scent, every time I wear it, I'm literally smelling myself, and in a good way, not like a girl you need to take a shower way, like in I loving the way that I smell way. And it's from Armani Privé, and it's Jasmine Kusamono. This is a beautiful, silky, transparent jasmine, and it's just very classic, very sophisticated, sparkly, uplifting, beautiful. And I just like the way it smells. That's pretty much all I gotta say about it. I just really enjoy it. This next fragrance is going to, it's my last one by the way, is going to segue into my bitter disappointment. Now, sometimes brands will reach out to you and they will offer things, and like I said, I'm always very transparent. I'm like, you have to let me be honest and upfront. Brands are great. This brand was a brand that I was looking into, and when they asked if I wanted to create something with them and share the experience with you guys, I was so down. And it's Olfactory, New York City, and it's when I created my fragrance, Kristin. Now, I'm gonna link this video below, but let me just say that it's not just this fragrance, which is actually my scent of the day if you're wondering, this is what I smell like. It's a very tropical, creamy, coconutty, white floral experience. I really like it. It's more of a summer scent, to be honest. If you like tiare flower, if you like sandalwood, if you like creamy coconut, check this out. But I'm really not trying to sell you this because I don't get anything if you buy it. They actually asked if I wanted like an affiliate code and I said no. But the reason why this is part of this video is because this entire experience was so fun and so cool and exactly what I would expect from an experience like this. Obviously, not everyone's going to have the components, the ability to create a bespoke fragrance. I have purchased a few bespoke fragrances before. I'm currently saving up money to get a very expensive one from Dominique Debrana. I think I'm going to do something with iris, vanilla, and sandalwood again. I'm looking at maybe spending like $800 on that bottle, so I'm waiting a little bit, but I'm very excited for when I finally do that. But a lot of people want a custom fragrance experience, and it's hard to do it right where you feel like you're in control and you're not just picking something pre-made off of a shelf. And as I'm talking more, you probably know what my bitter disappointment is. So how it works, like I said, is that you have this box and it comes like again with a little voucher. I think it lasts a little bit of time, I think maybe 30 days when you can turn it in like a coupon code. And you can just play and layer and really see what you like, what you don't like, come with different fragrances, different blending ideas, and really kind of see what custom bespoke fragrance you want to create for yourself. The price point of it is, I think, about $78 for a custom blended fragrance at the end of the day. And I think that you get to name the fragrance. It's a cute little, very minimalistic bottle. And at the same time, the scent performs very well. It's really beautiful. It's a fun experience. And at the end of the day, this was so fun and so cool. So a lot of people ask about bespoke fragrances, creating a signature scent, looking for a gift for somebody who's a fragrance lover who maybe has everything. I think this experience would be fantastic. And I've just been enjoying the fragrance, obviously. And at the end of the day, I think it's just fantastic. So they did not ask me to have this in this video. None of the companies that sent me these bottles asked to be in this video. And I wouldn't ask them if they wanted to be it. These are just genuinely fragrances that I love. I've really been enjoying and have been fantastic discoveries for 2020. Now for the bitter disappointment. And as I talk about that bespoke experience, you probably know that my bitter disappointment for 2020 was Waft. So the issue I have with Waft is not about the quality of their product, except for presentation, because 3 of the 4 bottles I ended up getting were damaged. And part of what you're paying for, in fact what you're truly paying for, is personalization. So Waft, and I will link my videos below if you want to see my 2 videos talking about my Waft experience. I purchased this full price. There was like a discount coupon code that I found by Googling discount coupons for Waft. And I was very, and I mean very disappointed. And the reason why I'm disappointed is they really tout and like blast at this like Waft experience. Take this questionnaire, answer these questions, and one of our master perfumers, and they do have master perfumers, will create a custom fragrance for you. And how they word it makes it seem like you are getting a custom fragrance. Like this person sitting down at the bench, sitting down at the organ, and they're gonna blend something up for you. And that's not the case. They work, and they even told me, and like I said, again, in my videos, if you want receipts, that they work with perfumers to create high-end specific blends for Waft. And when you do this kind of questionnaire, basically what it's doing is it's kind of choosing a fragrance for you. And depending on if they have the right size in stock, you'll get the one you chose, or maybe, and this is just me speculating, I'm not saying this, but based off my experience, it seems like if they don't have the best fit for you, they'll choose the next one. Now, I don't have a problem with that business model at all. I have a problem with them seeming to be misleading. That's my problem. My problem is that it's misleading. My other problem is that when they ask for you things, these are just requests. It doesn't mean that you're going to get what you want. So in my video, I talk about the 3 notes that you chose, because you can choose 3 notes. And you would assume that choosing those 3 notes, at least one of them would be predominant in either the top, the base, or the heart. But mine wasn't. And I got sent a green tea fragrance. And I didn't ask for tea in my scent. I asked for like a vanilla, iris, and I forget the other note I looked for. It was like something, I wanted like a very effervescent gourmand. And they send you a bottle, the main fragrance, the big baddie. If you order the big baddie, they have other sizes. And then they give you little accompanying ones. And there was one of the little accompanying ones that was perfect. It was perfect. And I was disappointed because that had the notes, it had the composition I was looking for, and it didn't smell like musk and green tea. Now, this as a musky green tea scent smells amazing. It smells so good. It's so refreshing. It smells musky if you like musky in your green tea. It's just a great scent to wear in the summer. I've really enjoyed it, but it's not what I requested. I don't think it was the right answer for the questionnaire that I did. And I was disappointed that I felt like that big grandstand of answering these questions and filling out this like questionnaire, this survey, didn't mean anything. And that's the Waft experience. That's what you're paying for. And so I was bitterly disappointed in the turnaround time, because it took forever, considering they just pulled a bottle off of a shelf. Because I got a custom-made bespoke fragrance shipped to me from Italy in the same amount of time it took them to print a sticker and put it on a bottle. So that's saying something, first and foremost. Secondly, has to do with the fact that they're misleading. At least I feel like they are misleading when it comes down to their how they market themselves. I don't think that there's anything wrong with having custom, bespoke, special proprietary blends made from master perfumers like Dominique Ripoin and some other amazingly talented noses out there. And that this algorithm, these questions that you ask, help you choose from a proprietary composition. And then it also helps you choose layering things, and then you get to personalize that experience. Because when you look at Olfactory New York City, what you are choosing between is different accords, different blends. So you might have like one blend that you mix with another. You're not just choosing this, and this. But you get to actually have a hands-on experience with testing this. And you know when you order and you try things that these are pre-made accords that you're blending together. With this, it just feels like they're selling you this bespoke experience at a fraction of a cost of what it would cost, because I know I paid for a bespoke fragrance, and some of these noses, if you were to try and get a bespoke fragrance from them, it would probably cost ridiculous amounts of money. So it does seem a little too good to be true. The issue that I have with it is the misleading marketing. The idea of Waft, I think, is great. I like the idea, especially again, if you are getting a gift for somebody who has every fragrance and you want to get them something special. These make great gifts. Like, I think these would be great gifts to commemorate a special event, maybe a graduation gift or bridesmaid gifts, or gifts to kind of celebrate an anniversary for somebody that has everything. Like the idea of a personalized gift where you can put a name and a date and a quote on it. You get to choose the packaging, and you get something that probably not everybody's wearing. Like, not everyone's gonna have this. So the idea of Waft is great. The price point of their fragrances, from what I've tried, generally seems pretty good. Doesn't seem pretty bad. I've talked about it before. Their quality to me is like on par with like Versace or Marc Jacobs. There's some Armani fragrances, not Armani Privé, but their general line. So good price point, good quality. The idea that you also get these blending components are great. But what really bitterly disappointed me was the experience of choosing a fragrance and feeling like none of your choices mattered at the end of the day. Because if they had reached out to me and said, hey, we have this perfect fragrance for you, you wanted a 100 ml bottle, we only have 50 mls of it, I would have totally been okay with saying, you know what, I'll take 2 bottles, which is what they ended up sending me, or I will buy a smaller bottle, you know, rather than then ignoring it completely and choosing second or third best, which at the end of the day made me feel completely dissatisfied. And guess what? If they had done it that way, I probably would be talking about how amazing the fragrance was, because the fragrance I ended up with getting after the exchange is great. It's a fantastic fragrance, and I do love it. But I did kind of want to share my favorites with you this year, but also talk about something that I don't think currently is worth the money, or if you are considering getting something from Waft, at least know what you're getting, because they kind of are slightly misleading, and I'm not okay with that. But I do like this fragrance. I do wear it. I do get compliments on it, or at least when I got it. I wasn't really going anywhere because it was in the middle of the pandemic, so it was mostly from like my mom and like some random person at a grocery store who wasn't wearing their mask correctly, and I don't know how I feel about that. But at the end of the day, it's not a bad company, it's not a bad end product, it's a horrible experience, and they need to fix that. And that is why I'm bitterly disappointed. Anyway, that is me sharing the discoveries of 2020 that I really loved, and one bitter disappointment, but I do hope you enjoyed this video. I do know it's on the longer side, but I wanted to chat with you guys and kind of sit down and just communicate, talk with you, so to speak. I can't say words, fine. But I do like doing these types of videos, and I don't really do them that often, so I thought, why not today? So I would love to know what fragrances you guys discovered in 2020. Which ones really blew you away, knocked your socks off, you're super obsessed with, you crave wearing, or if you guys have any super bitter disappointments that you've tried. I'd love to know either, so let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Cat Cup for keeping me hydrated. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love seeing this channel grow. And I hope you guys are all happy and healthy. Have a great day, month, year, whatever. And I will see you next time. Bye.